Gonzaga's Dusty Stromer has hit the portal, perhaps not a surprise, as he saw his role shrink in his sophomore season in Spokane. He was a highly rated recruit coming out of high school, top 50 guy, the 247 Sports composite. Went to Gonzaga, again, just kind of fell out of the rotation or fell out of the role that he was in. Was really good the end of his freshman year. He had some really good moments in the NCAA tournament. This year, again, just not as much. Hits the portal. What should we know about Dusty Stromer, the player? We'll get into potential fits and things on the line, but just him as a player, what should we know about him?
First off, I never lost faith in Dusty. Loved him coming out of high school. Thought he just seemed like the next in line of those wings that Mark Few develops. I mean, you saw the flashes, but at this point, I would still say his game feels a little theoretical. Like he's always been this potential 3-and-D guy, and I know his freshman year, his defense was a pleasant surprise. Like I even go back to I think it was when Gonzaga played USC in the non-conference. Like he guarded Isaiah Collier pretty competently for a guy who was a top 50 kid coming out of high school. And I don't know, to see him, it didn't really feel like he took the step forward that I thought many were expecting this past year. Like his numbers look pretty similar across the board. His 3-point shooting even dipped a little bit. But I feel like he's going to be a good glue guy wherever he goes, who doesn't make mistakes. He's a decent rebounder for his position and for his size, and he's pretty much a spot up threat. I don't know how much offense he has beyond the spot up shooting at this point. I don't really think he's doing much off the bounce. I don't really know if you're going to use him as a movement shooter. Maybe he can get there. To me, it feels like a down transfer. I don't know if he would go to another WCC school, but I would be kind of surprised to see a power conference school take a swing on him unless they're just looking at him for depth, which that's basically what he was for one really good Gonzaga team. And a solid Gonzaga team this past year, to where I would guess he's going to look for somewhere where he will have a guaranteed bigger role.
I think that's the question for him is what is he? Because at a high school, there were the potential you could see of him being a movement shooter, of him being able to do some stuff with the ball in his hands, of him being a defensive weapon as a 6'6", 200-pound wing who could move his feet. Then you go to Gonzaga and you're going to be compartmentalized because of the other players that are on Gonzaga, right? You're going to be that as a freshman. And he found a way to make an impact in his role, particularly late in that season, where there was expectations of him taking a step forward potentially this year. And that did not happen. So
Mm-hmm.
did it not happen because you're not that great and you like your talent level speaks more to a lower level? Or is
Mm-hmm.
it you kind of got pigeonholed in this role and now there's a chance for you to come out and spread your wings a little bit? Maybe that is at a lower level. Maybe that's somewhere else where you have a bigger role. I'm not sure. But how do you stack that up when you have somebody like this who's played 2 years in college as a role player, but had such good pedigree
Right.
coming out of high school? How do you stack that up?
To me, I'm like, he's got to go play at like Santa Clara or something and follow the Adama ball path, going from Arizona as a bench player to Santa Clara and just taking it off. Because, like you said, coming out of high school, the report on him was he could shoot a little bit off the bounce. He had a little bit of craftiness to his game and creation abilities, and wasn't a strictly spot up threat. I just think that should he go to a school that's either on Gonzaga's caliber, and I'm talking like perennial top 25, top 10 team of what Gonzaga has been really for
Yeah.
the better part of a decade, then yeah, I don't really see a place that's going to be like, all right, Dusty, it's your turn to rock out. Maybe like a lower level power conference school gives him that opportunity. But yeah, I'm just thinking through like if he wants to stay on the West Coast, there's plenty of good options where, even I mentioned Santa Clara, just when you look at, Brandon Pajimski before Adama Ball, like they've had some success with, even with in Pods' case was like, you come here, you get your chance to shine, and he becomes an NBA player out of it. And I don't know if Dusty, like it seems really far fetched to envision Dusty at this point even as an NBA player, but at least I would say look for a place where you can get a bigger role to give you the best chance as possible. Because I like those defensive tools have always been there. The instincts have never been in question. That gives him like a high floor. But yeah, I think I'd be looking for somewhere where you get a chance to show off the offensive bag a little bit.
Santa Clara's got a track record of developing lesser known guys into pros too. Like that, there's a couple that I'd be curious there. How would you stack him up if and I don't know if he's gonna even consider the school given the rivalry, but like a Washington or a USC or one of these programs that finish at the bottom part of the Big Ten this year, bottom part of Power Conference, that is looking for wings or looking for any kind of
Yeah.
upside swing. Would you rather see him at a place like that to try and rebuild himself, or do you think a down transfer is what's best for him, and maybe you look at moving back up after a year in a true big role?
Man, if USC wanted him, I think with Muss's track record of finding wings, like I think about Audigi Tony or who's that dude? Stanley Umude. Remember him? Like
Yep.
Muss has had a long track record of guys who have like that 6'6" frame, who at least theoretically can do a little bit more with the ball in their hands to having them blossom to where I could see that working out. I don't know, man. There's just part of me that feels like Muss would aim higher. Washington just feels like it's a nightmare all around right now. Like they don't really have a
Yeah.
fix for the current situation they're in. Uh, what about this? If you're Dusty, would you hit up Ali Farouk Manesh? Say, hey, let me see if
Hey,
I can be Neat Clifford 2.0. I got the defense, I got the shooting. I need to work on my ball handling and ability to get to the free throw line. Like to me, Colorado State would be a great fit.
that system too requires you to be pretty skilled, and he is. I think that'd be good. San Diego State could be an option as well. They need some help, and I think his offense would help, and his shooting would help at San Diego State. Plus, he's got the defensive chops as well. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see where this one goes because I truly think he is somebody, given the high school pedigree and what he did show at times at Gonzaga, that there are
Mhm.
going to be some power conference schools that are interested. Probably not top end, but solid power conference schools. And so this decision is going to be: do you try and carve out a role there, or do you go for a big one, a known big one at a smaller school?
Mhm.
Tough decision.
It is March, and that means that March Madness is upon us. And if you are looking for a place to play, Underdog Fantasy has you covered. Sign up and deposit using code SLEEPERS, that's code SLEEPERS, to receive up to $1,000 in bonus credit plus a free pick. Head over to Underdog Fantasy today and use promo code SLEEPERS to take advantage of this amazing offer.